Oh my gosh. We're good? Okay, let me get them all discombobulated. Okay, welcome to our council meetings for this evening, Wednesday, August 23rd. We need to jump in with a couple of, got 3 quick meetings to get through tonight. We'll be quick, though. First, we're going to start with a CDRA meeting and look for approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of August 23rd, 2023, to be prepared and distributed to each member of the Redevelopment Agency Board. The board will have 10 days to review the minutes and submit any changes to the secretary. If after 10 days there are no changes, the minutes will be standards approved. If there are changes, the process will be followed until all changes are made and the board is in agreement.
Motion by Teddy, second by Sherry. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 3.1, we've got a public hearing review and consideration of a resolution of the CDRA of Herriman City to adopt budget amendments for the fiscal year 2024 budget. Kyle.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll make this quick tonight. I just have a few, let me turn it on. I have a few proposed budget amendments for the CDRA funds. Just overall why these budget amendments are needed. One is to match projected revenues and expenditures with forecasts. So we do have long-range models for all of our CDRA project areas. So we want to make sure the budget matches those projections. Next one is with the budget we did for the city, we allocated out administrative charges to all the funds. That includes the CDA funds, CDRA funds. So for example, a portion of my time, portion of city manager's time, even your time sitting here on this board, they'll be paying, the CDRA funds will be paying the general fund back for those. So that's included in the budget amendment. The largest one is, as you remember at the last meeting, you approved a participation agreement with HTC Communities to reimburse some infrastructure costs and debt service payments. So this is also to put a budget in for that, which we'll discuss a little bit in the next couple slides. The first one really quickly, I do have the breakdown of the administrative charges. As you can see, it totals about $63,000 between the different CDRA funds. And we bill those back on direct costs, so every month accounting goes through, looks at what was spent and actually charges it, so we just don't blindly transfer what's budgeted over. The next one, I do have a brief slide about the participation agreement. As you remember, the total reimbursement amount is about $14.3 million. Bond payment reimbursement is approximately $6 million. The proposal I would make to you as the board is that we amend the budget for a $4 million one-time payment to jumpstart that reimbursement. In addition, the projections show we would owe them $886,000 of their portion of the tax increment that will come in for the year. With that, as you can see, we have about a $6.3 million fund balance. Thinking about what we should leave in reserve, as you can see, I'm proposing debt service payments of 1 year in the fund balance, and this is in addition, so the trustee also has a debt service reserve for both of the bonds. That's a little harder to access. These funds in this reserve would be easier to access, and then 15% reserve. So that would leave a reserve of $2.1 million, even if you as the board approve budgeting this $4 million payment to jumpstart the reimbursement agreement. And with that, are there any questions for me before the public hearing?
Nope. Thank you, Kyle. At this point, we'll open for a public hearing on this. Any comment? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Look for a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion to approve resolution R2023-04 approving an amendment to the fiscal year 2024 Community Development and Renewal Agency of Herriman City budget.
Second.
Motion by Jared, second by Teddy. Jared?
Yes.
Teddy?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
I'm going to vote yes. That motion carries. Consent agenda. Look for a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda is written.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Sherry. Steve?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Teddy? Yes. Jared?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, that motion carries. Look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next quick meeting, the Herriman City Fire Safety Area meeting. Look for a motion to approve minutes.
Motion to have the minutes of August 23rd, 2023 be prepared and distributed to each member of the HCFSA Board. The board will have 10 days to review the minutes and submit any changes to the secretary. If after 10 days there are no changes, the minutes will stand approved. If there are changes, the process will be followed until all changes are made and the board is in agreement.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Sherry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Consent agenda, look for a motion on the consent.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Motion by Teddy, second by Sherry. Jared?
Yes.
Teddy?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, that motion carries. Look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, now we're to the regular meeting. Okay, we will call our regular meeting to order at this point then. We are going to start with a Pledge of Allegiance by, it's going to be a one-man show tonight, Bryant. If you're going to do our Pledge of Allegiance as well, we welcome you to come to the podium here and lead us in that pledge.
I love the shirt.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bryant. Okay, Bryant, you might as well stay here. Let's just keep you up here, Bryant, so you don't have to go very far. We're going to start with our council recognitions tonight. Anybody have anything before I start with Bryant? Are we okay with, if I just jump into Bryant here? Okay, so Bryant here, Bryant Jacobs was our Grand Marshal at our parade this year, and it was truly an honor. We visited there that day. It was truly an honor to have you in that role for us. I just want to read a little bit about Bryant. Former U.S. Army soldier Bryant Jacobs served with the 65th Engineer Battalion in Hawaii before being deployed to Iraq. In December 2004, his convoy was hit by an IED, causing severe injuries, including the loss of his finger, calf, large intestine, and inner thigh. I didn't need to be doing this when I'm exhausted. After 22 months and numerous surgeries, he was medically retired. Bryant pursued a degree in communications at the University of Utah and discovered a passion for public speaking. In 2014, he made the life-changing decision to amputate his right leg. Despite complications, Bryant received a prosthetic leg, which granted him newfound mobility, allowing him to pursue outdoor activities and spend quality time with his family. Because of his resilience and ability to transform adversity into personal growth and inspiration, we have selected Bryant as our 2023 Fort Herriman Town Days Parade Grand Marshal. Bryant, thank you for your service, for your sacrifice, and we're thrilled to recognize you tonight. So, thank you. And if you'll, Bryant, we've got a plaque for you to recognize, and we would like to.
Picture with your cool shirt.
Council night is going to be Hawaiian shirt night.
Okay, any other comments or recognitions from council tonight? Well, yeah, that's, okay, seeing none, we'll move on to,
Sorry,
yeah.
just one comment. If you guys see, there's a packet we all got delivered tonight, if you haven't had a chance to look at it. Mr. Howarth has come up and talked to me several times about this. I'm sure he's talked to each one of you about it several times. I promised that I would, after talking with him last time and hearing some of his reasons and his concerns and sharing some of his passion for the issue, that I would ask us as a council to consider looking at these kinds of things in ways that we can discuss issues that are meaningful to our citizens, over which as a council we may not necessarily have any direct legislative authority over, if that makes sense. I think we have questioned some cities making proclamations or declarations or resolutions about topics which they have no legislative or authority over whatsoever. As a city,
Or political, or what I consider political proclamations.
yeah,
well.
political showmanship or grandstanding or something like that. I don't want it to do that. But I think in the area that Mr. Howard is asking us to make considerations and discussions, it is something that I think is fundamental to the basic freedoms that we enjoy as citizens of this country. And I think that as a council, although we may not have direct say over this, it is something that we can support and encourage and be a part of without being a part of what you described as, the political grandstanding side of things. I think can be done at the same time as the federal government's doing it, many states are doing it, our own state is doing it, other communities are doing it, and I think we can be part of that. And so, for what it's worth, I wanted to say it publicly, Mr. Howarth, I'm appreciative of your efforts. I think religious freedom is an incredibly important issue, and that I would challenge us as a council to look at what he's proposing as alternatives for us to find a way to do it without crossing the lines that we've talked about not wanting to cross. So I'm supportive of it, and I appreciate what he's trying to do.
Thank you, Steve. Okay. I'll recognize a guest we have with us here. If you guys know Tammy, have anybody met? I'm going to embarrass Tammy a little bit. This is Tammy. Is it Pfeiffer? Is that how you say her last? So Tammy, she was at the League convention last year as well. One of the last. So she's technically employed by the school district, part-time, but she also, I love what she's doing. She's working with Shriver, Tim Shriver, who's one of the Kennedy, related. Anyways, there's a Kennedy somewhere in there, whatever, right? But working on civility in government discourse, and I've been following her work and what she does, both here with the district, and she's been here numerous times when we've recognized youth in the district. But Tammy, I just wanted to take a minute and recognize what I've seen you doing in your work out there. So thank you for what you're doing to help bring civility. We appreciate it, Tammy. And thank you for always being here and supporting. So, okay, we'll turn to public comment now at this point. Audience members may bring any item to the City Council's attention. Comments will be limited to 2 minutes. State law prohibits the council from acting on items that do not appear on the agenda. Public comments for this meeting will also be conducted electronically. Any person interested in addressing the council may submit a comment by emailing recorder@herriman.org or by visiting herriman.org/agendas and minutes, where there is a link to fill out an online public comment form. Your statement will be incorporated into the public record. So at this point, if there's any public comment, nothing tonight. Okay, we'll move on to item 6, council reports. Jared?
All is quiet on the fire board front at the moment.
Okay. Teddy?
We had our sewer board meeting yesterday, and then nothing significant out of that. It was a pretty short meeting. And we also had an employee luncheon today that was held at Riverton City Park that was very appreciative of not only the trustees, but I think they had like 99% employee turnout. It was pretty good, catered by R&R. So anytime you have barbecue, it's good. That's mine.
Okay. Sherry?
No, other than LPC. Will you remind me, do you remember exactly how many bill files they said are already open?
770. That was of last Monday.
Already open, and the legislative session does not start until next year, so just.
The end of January.
So I guess just for public awareness to know that there is a lot going on at the legislature, so be aware.
Who's the reporter that did that story on some connections, maybe? I need to look at those bill files and
Oh, my gosh.
connect her with that. Oh, wow.
Anyway,
Thanks for that.
It was, I think they said 240 more bills than had been filed by October of last year. So it's going to be,
It's August, yeah.
it's going to be a lot.
Death by legislation.
I'm trying to bring this up, see if I can get the attachment. I don't have it, so. Just mosquito board update. Yeah, there's some, mosquitoes are on the rise, the counts are higher. Nationwide, there's increasing cases of West Nile, Zika. There's even a couple chikungunya, which I think is a weird name, but they happen. You know, some of the stuff that they were talking about, the cases of malaria, you know, that they haven't seen really much expansion of that, but there's a couple of other cases. So they're keeping a big eye on it. Again, just reminding everybody when you're out in the woods and stuff, keep the DEET repellents on. Try not to get bitten by the mosquitoes if you can keep from it. I heard someone saying Irish Spring is apparently really good at keeping them. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't want to pass along false information, but hey, whatever it takes, if it keeps the mosquitoes off and we can control any further spread of any of these stuff, it would be great. So
They are.
it's ugly out there.
Okay, and I do not have anything at this point, so I will move on to the consent agenda. Look for motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Motion by Sherry,
Second.
second by Teddy. Steve?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Teddy?
Yep.
Jared?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Okay, that brings us to the conclusion of our meeting tonight, our
Love this kind of thing.
regular meeting.
This part of the meeting.
This part of the meeting. Future meetings, we do have a joint Planning Commission City Council meeting next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Next Planning Commission meeting is on the 6th. Our next council meeting will be the 13th. A reminder about the farmer's market and the food truck night every Monday, continuing on for the rest of the fall. Senior bingo, please, if you're hearing this and know seniors in the community, please invite them. September 20th. 10 o'clock here. Any other events?
I think there's a registration for that, though, right? Okay. Yeah, it's open, though, but yeah.
Loosely.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an
Popular event.
RSVP, but we'll welcome.
We'll
Yeah.
accommodate. Yeah.
There will be a light lunch supplied by Lee's, actually, Lee's
By
Grocery.
Lee's? Great. And I've heard the people calling it bingo this are going to be entertaining, so.
I don't know. I hear there's clowns.
Okay, look for a motion to go back to work meeting then. All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Feeling better. Like if you think it was